I think there's a couple ones, like, as I mentioned, getting too comfortable with existing suppliers and not kind of exploring the broader market to look for alternatives or doing it too late, right? It's like, yes, maybe the supplier was great when you were doing 500,000 revenue, but are they still the best supplier when you're at 3 million? Are there better alternatives out there? Are there better price points out there? Are there better quality? So I think the always be on the lookout for new opportunities. And then number two is looking at supply chain as an end-to-end cost optimization and not just the final production costs. I think people get too like caught up on the kind of FOB cost or like the cost out of the door, but if you look at supply chain, there's a lot of hidden costs. What I mean by that is if you're ordering from Asia, like China or Vietnam, it's going to take 12 days on a ship to get over here. But if you source out of like, let's say Mexico, despite on average having a higher production cost because it's just less efficient there, your time to a US warehouse might be like 2 days by truck or 3 days by truck, depending on where you are. And that 12 to 3 day change could actually reduce your cost because now you're able to do kind of these fast turnarounds. So instead of ordering a huge amount of product beforehand and holding that inventory, I can order a smaller amount of product and quickly replenish as my sales validate the product. But if there's like new products that you're launching or products where you require a certain amount of agility, then you should think about supply chain as like even if you find a US manufacturer, for example, for certain products, yes, they're going to be more expensive, but hey, you're able to like do this quick replenishment and you're able to get this agility from it. And then also like obviously the tariffs and stuff. It's like understanding what are ways you can game the system legally. Like if you look at like a product like this, depending on the composition, the tariff that you pay could be very, very different. So if it's like majority was like cotton based versus polyester, polyester is like synthetic material. Typically, if you look at like a country like Vietnam or China, US are going to have on average a higher tariff rate for synthetic material simply because the US wants to protect its like chemical industry. So if your product is made of like nylon, 70% nylon or like polyester, you're going to be paying upwards of like 30% tariffs. But
Mm,
if you make that composition like 30% nylon, 70% cotton, where it's like majority cotton, then you can classify that as under a different HS code and kind of avoid tariffs that way. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the product without making huge changes to navigate this like tariff situation. It's like have AI analyze all the current tariff rates and say, okay, what changes can I make to my product to lower my tariff rate? Or what countries should I be sourcing out of if I were to try to find a lower tariff rate country or something like that?